Okay, Jeff goes random, investigates science. I'm putting the white gloves on for this. This appears to be moss. And I found this moss in the bottom of this globe. See, at first, I thought it was dirt or bug accumulation. But in fact, it was something that I believe is moss. And I brought a ruler out to emphasize the science aspect of this. And I'm even going to measure these little morsies, to show how big they were. And there was no visible means of support. So let's see. All right, so hold on. Okay, I'll lay it like this, and I'll put the ruler, science metric ruler, and I'll try to keep you in frame. All right, so it grew. That looks like it's about 5. Hold on, let's move that. Okay, we can do this. All right, there we go. About 6 centimeters or centimeters. All right, I'm making a little moss. I don't know what you say. Little moss pottery, little moss terracottas, which I got somewhere. And the wind is picking up now. So there you go. I found all this moss growing without visible means of support. Sometimes I feel like I'm like that, and I'm sure a lot of you people feel like you grow without visible means of support. The mystery moss inside this light post globe. What is it? Where did it come from? How did it live? Okay, I'm just going to give a shout out and take some clips from this incredible collecting and identifying moss YouTuber. I was gonna try to find out and reinvent the wheel, but I'm just gonna play some of this guy's stuff. I haven't subscribed to him, but I think I'm going to. SerpaDesign's collecting and identifying moss. I just found this. This is, I don't know which type of moss I have. It could be a couple of different types, but let's just do a few short clips. Fair use.
Right. This one is going to be all about moss, more specifically collecting it. I got to get some for various projects that I'm working on right now, so I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride and show you some tips.
Interesting character.
Right, when you're looking for moss, you often need to look no further than your own yard.
That's right.
In my garden right now, and as we were planting things the past weekend, I noticed that there was a lot of nice moss in here, so let me show you what we got. Down here are some of the mosses that I was telling you about, and we have a variety down here. I believe it's mostly star moss and thread moss. Now, before we get into that, I know that a lot of you guys are curious about how I identify my mosses, and that's something that we'll get through as we go further into the video. But in the meantime, this is some thread moss and star moss. So let's take a few patches here.
So this guy just takes a couple patches, I guess like I did, and look at that, you could propagate it. I'm actually going to do a little bit of that, but the fact is it was growing on the bottom of a light bulb or a light globe outdoor, and it was very interesting. I know, Jeff goes random with nature, collecting and identifying moss. I'll play a little bit more of this just to show you what this gentleman does. So I think this is kind of what I had. Both of these actually kind of looks a little
so I'm
like.
just filling up this compartment of my trusty container here with mosses from my garden. But before we finalize that, I just wanted to show you this little scene here. I have it composed using the rule of thirds, but this is the kind of stuff that I reference whenever I'm doing my.
Yeah. So that's interesting, and it saved me time where I don't have to reinvent the wheel. So there you go. Thank you, SerpaDesign guy. So I'm coming back in, and this gentleman is identifying different mosses. I'll just take a few quick clips of this.
This is a really common moss, and I say common because I'm sure you've seen it before. If you've ever been in an urban setting and you've seen moss growing in between cracks of the pavement, I'm almost guaranteed that it's this moss right here. I don't know what it is about this one as opposed to the others, but this one is always in settings like that. And the way that you can tell this moss apart from the others is that it's really fine. If you touch it, it almost feels like hair. If you turn it to the side, it looks like individual strings or threads, as the common name
This might be what I have.
Pretty cool one. This one does really well in terrariums, and if you put it in there and let it grow for a few months, it's literally going to look like a patch of hairs because it grows up about 1 inch tall or so, a bunch of little...
I think I identified, or this gentleman identified it. So there you go. That's it. Fair use, whatever that means. People always say that or write that down. But I'm giving credit where credit is due. And this guy really seems to be into his moss. Very much into moss. More than I think I'd want to be into moss. But that's it. Okay, Jeff goes random with about as much moss as I'd want to get into.
Vivariums.
Wow.
This is a general care guide that outlines techniques
All right,
suitable
this
for
guy
various types
is
of moss.
really into moss.
These are the techniques that I personally use.
Just showing this little
to be extremely
clip.
effective. As you well know, I almost always use moss in my terrarium and vivarium
Yeah,
builds.
he likes his moss.
Propagate.
Here's what I did with some of the moss.